Oh, Andy Ruiz. I guess Andy Ruiz is daring to be great. You guys know I couldn't resist. I'm just wondering if those same people who cracked on Caleb Plant so hard will have the same amount of vigor and energy and conviction when it comes to Andy Ruiz. I doubt it, but I'm going to digress on that. Okay. Now, when it comes to Andy Ruiz and him saying that he needs a tune-up in order to fight Luis Ortiz, I'm going to give you my honest opinion, and this is something that I know in my heart of hearts is true, and just hear me out. Andy Ruiz would beat the living shit out of Luis Ortiz, and those are facts. That's too much speed. That's too much veracity coming at him for that old man to handle. Okay? Andy Ruiz is not scared of Luis Ortiz. See, the same thing's been going on. It's been going on since the beginning when it comes to Deontay Wilder. Okay? I'm telling you what they're doing. They're using somebody like Andy Ruiz to make it seem like he's intimidated or scared to fight somebody like Luis Ortiz. If it was actually to let Andy Ruiz go in there and dismantle Luis Ortiz, you would see how insignificant Luis Ortiz has actually been. Luis Ortiz has always been, from the beginning, a tool to help build up Deontay Wilder. Now, given the fact that Tyson Fury has beat Deontay Wilder twice, okay, Andy Ruiz fighting Luis Ortiz would actually just destroy the fake facade that they put up for Deontay Wilder even more. Why would you say? Because think about it for a second. Who was the two best names that Deontay Wilder has on his boxing resume? Luis Ortiz and Tyson Fury. Tyson Fury already beat him once, but people could argue. But now it's no mistake, he whooped that boy. Okay? All right, he whooped that boy. He didn't win the first time, okay? And he didn't win the second time. Now, Tyson Fury has already shown you something there about this guy. Now you move it over to Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz go in there and wreck not Luis Ortiz. If Andy Ruiz go in there and wreck Luis Ortiz, then you're going to see how insignificant Luis Ortiz is. And that strips away any credibility that Wilder had, because Wilder's whole career has been built off the back of two fighters. One is fictitious, one who just beat a Brian Jennings and have done nothing else. And the other one is Tyson Fury, somebody who they tried to catch on the downslope, tried to catch while he was depressed, tried to catch while he was overweight, coming off the couch, coke binge, mental problems and everything else. They tried to catch him in a weak state, but they misunderstood how mentally strong Tyson Fury really was. That's really what it is. So when it comes to Andy Ruiz fighting Luis Ortiz and he said he needs the tune-up, man, Luis Ortiz is the tune-up. Why do you need a tune-up for a dude who truthfully did not pass the physical and who they did not want to send in there to fight Deontay Wilder? You need a tune-up for that guy? Mr. Blood Pressure Medication? Mr. My Sandals is older than Moses? You know what I'm saying, Luis Ortiz? You need a tune-up for that? No, he doesn't. You know what I'm saying? And as much as I would like to tear down Andy Ruiz for being a ducker, you know what I'm saying, and not rising to the occasion, I know honestly that's not the case. Luis Ortiz is not afraid. He's being advised to tell you guys that I need a tune-up fight before I fight somebody like Luis Ortiz. It's to keep the facade, to make it seem like Deontay Wilder is really fighting somebody. But if you know boxing, if you put somebody like Andy Ruiz in there with somebody like Luis Ortiz, okay, Andy Ruiz got too much value and too much power. Well, not power, but too much veracity for Luis Ortiz. Luis Ortiz does not set the pace, okay? Luis Ortiz let his opposition set the pace. And in that case, when it comes to Andy Ruiz will run circles around Luis Ortiz, and then you'll see how old, how worn out, how insignificant he really is in the boxing world. So all this is one big giant front. I don't believe for a second that Luis Ortiz can step in there and school Andy Ruiz. And nobody with a sensible boxing mind should think that either. So when it comes to him saying he needs a tune-up fight and this and that, that's all Al Haymon engineered, smoke and mirrors, tricks, people in the crowd. You know what I'm saying? It's all the same thing. It's one big giant magic show. Okay. It just so happens they're dealing with a person where I don't fall for these casual media tricks that y'all pull on people. But I'm telling you right now, that is not the case. Andy Ruiz is not afraid of Luis Ortiz. He does not need a tune-up fight. Nobody needs a tune-up for that old man, and nobody needs a tune-up to blast him out of the water. These is just the facts of life, okay? Now and it's already been well known, and it has been said that Luis Ortiz did not pass the physical, and they did not want to send him in there, but he begged because he needed to provide for his family, so they went ahead and let him fight Deontay Wilder. And this is the guy you need a tune-up for? Please, as much as I would like to believe that somebody is ducking, I'm not dumb enough, and I'm not tripped up in my ego enough to try to say something that's not true. I know this is relevant, and I know the game that they playing, and it's all smoke and mirrors, okay? It's all smoke and mirrors, and Luis Ortiz has been nothing but a pawn from the beginning. He can't make $7 million with Anthony Joshua. He can't go over here and do this, and he can't go over and do that. At the end of the day, everybody over there at PBC, for the most part, is on autopilot, auto remote, you know what I'm saying? And that remote sits on Al Haymon's desk. But don't you think for a second that Andy Ruiz is afraid of Luis Ortiz. Just honestly sit back and think about that, and you will realize how silly that actually sounds. Now, let's just think for a second. You just came off of 2 back-to-back training camps. So why would you, out of all people, need a tune-up? There it is right there. I didn't solve the riddle. I didn't solve the puzzle. There's no logical excuse you can make for that. The dude just came off 2 back-to-back training camps. You know, this is the same thing that people said once they got mad at Caleb Plant for not going ahead and fighting Canelo Alvarez. They say Andy Ruiz did it. He went to back-to-back training camps. So why does a person who had back-to-back training camps all of a sudden needs a tune-up? He was already fine-tuned. And then on top of that, how can you say you need a tune-up, but you want a direct rematch with Anthony Joshua? Once again, contradictions, and none of that makes sense. But once you put common sense to this crap that don't make sense, it's obvious to see it's BS and it's smoke and mirror. But that's my thoughts. Leave your thoughts in the comment section. Bruce Van, I'm out.